following recording was made on a rainy summer night in 2021. Please note that the statements reflect only personal opinions. This is not an investment advice of any kind. Especially it's not a hint to invest or not to invest in any Baltic P2P platform. Always do your own due diligence. Be careful who you trust. Always check the background of the people. But of course, it's hard to check when you're talking to a dog. And most important, recommend us and write Apple reviews. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple, Google, Deezer, and Amazon. Thank you and enjoy. Force me to say it. Hello and welcome everybody to P2P Deep Dive, Part 5, the podcast where we talk about the ups and, unfortunately, most of the time, downs of P2P investing. As I said last time, we want to sharpen our brand core. Bloggers versus investors. So today I brought a very special guest as a reinforcement for me. And this special guest is also the reason why we speak English today. At least we try. So before we hand over to him, we should introduce ourselves for the English listeners. I'm Dirk from Hanover, a German investor who already lost a lot of money with P2P. The platforms say, I'm the stupid German money. So, yeah, I hand over to Thomas, who is actually our host. Thomas, hello.
Hello, Dirk. Hello also, guys. Nice to hear you. I'm Thomas from Germany too, and in real life, I'm working in the telecommunication industry and support software developers. And in the shadow empire, I run a blog. I'm the big blogger. No, I'm not really a big blogger. I'm a little small blogger, and I write at p2pgames.com. That's from my side. I have not lost so many money like you, I think, but I have lost absolutely money too. Not only a few bucks. But let's talk about Phil. Phil, nice to meet you.
Hi guys. My name is Philip. I am working in the IT in my normal life. So I am a private investor and also a blogger colleague to Thomas. And I'm running the blog Invest Diversified, which you find under investive.eu. Yeah. And I think I also lost like many others money. And I think I lost not that much that Dirk, because Dirk, I think, is a good contraindicator.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so finally we hand over to our special guest. And of course, it's someone who should be familiar with everyone investing in P2P. It's Mr. Peerduck, who appeared in 2019, I guess, on Twitter. Mr. Peerduck, hello.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's me. I'm a Peerduck. I'm a bird from Baltic States. Currently, I'm sitting in Riga. Sometimes I sit in other places, but now I'm, let's say, local to all the scam platforms. You have lost money so far. So today I join you to have a discussion about how not to lose it, or how to lose it less, probably. So let's have a talk.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So I guess you are connected to the finance industry somehow, or how did you get the idea to start this Twitter account?
I don't remember why I started it actually, but yes, you're absolutely correct. I'm from financial industry. I'm an investment manager. I used to work in various places as an investment manager, as a portfolio manager. I never heard about peer-to-peer till one moment. So when I actually came back to Baltics, I never heard about Mintis. For the people who work in finance, straightforward finance, they don't know this niche product. Okay, now it's known, but it's so marginal. So I was quite surprised. I started to look on it, and what I have seen mostly was a bluff. Some bunch of imposters trying to pretend that they do finance. I was quite amazed, so I decided to have a parody account. I never planned to be famous. I'm still not planning to be famous, yes. But I still enjoy mocking, mostly as well. Sometimes people ask me questions about investments, so I usually answer them because sometimes I'm bored during my day job. Sometimes I'm bored even in evenings like today. So not particularly today, but sometimes I sit whole night reading all this stupidity stuff, and so basically, yes, I'm the guy who is doing this for life. I mean, not mocking people, but investing, or mostly evaluating. So I'm not the type of stock exchange guy, or of course I have a stock exchange background, but mostly I do valuation.
Yeah, so we are very lucky today that you are bored, so you can speak to us. Before we come to P2P, where do you invest your money? Is there anything you can recommend so the money doesn't get lost?
I mean,
is it wise to send money to the Baltics? I mean, even real estate or stocks or something like that? Or do you say, better invest in China or the US?
Yeah, the Baltic peer-to-peer crash is nothing comparable to China peer-to-peer crash, and it's like 10,000 times bigger and 1 year earlier. Probably you have heard, yes, they had a madness about it, and then it appeared that, hello, suddenly most of them are some Ponzi's or some idiots doing some stupid stuff, but now you can see it on the Baltic example also. But speaking generally, Baltic States is no difference to other jurisdictions. Probably it's more like a Central Europe rather than Eastern Europe. In terms of risks, it's Eurozone. It's well-established legal system, and I mean, comparing to the Bulgaria, comparing to the Romania, comparing to the Balkans, it's definitely safer. Comparing to the Germany or Britain or France, it's probably a bit riskier. But in France, you probably will never see double-digit return. So I would say it's exactly in the place it should be, as something middle between emergent economy and emerging economy. So yes, overall it's safe, unless you're not too global.
What can you recommend? Would you invest in real estate or stocks or something else? Any hint?
If we are speaking about Baltic stocks, okay, we were speaking about the region of 6 million in total people. So maybe 6.5. So there is limited access to the Baltic stock market. It's usually not Baltic stock markets. It's Frankfurt or Warsaw. It depends, yes, where they are listed. But I don't think that they have significant value, or there is a reason to devote time to them. They're quite niche. They usually bought on subscription. There is no liquid market on it. So let's leave it to the institutional investors like pension funds. Let them burn your money here, not you.
Okay. But which type of investments do you make?
I'm global, so I had a small portfolio. Personally, I don't invest much. Yes, I do it for other people. So I'm not like guy who invests his own money all day long. So people who do music, they don't listen music usually at evening after the work. So
okay, so you
burn your money.
You keep it just for yourself and enjoy life, drinking wine.
Not really. I'm not drinking. Sorry, guys.
No, but, buying cars or whatever.
No, I invest. Yes, I invest. I had a portfolio. Now I cash out it, but I had a portfolio in the ETF. I had a portfolio in some stocks, but you can see clearly that that's how I hit it now. So I don't feel confident that this rally can go on for a longer period. So, and I don't invest. I invest money that I don't want to lose. I mean, I can't lose it. So I'm a quite conservative guy here. So okay, I have some land plots, some real estate mostly now in Baltics. So
no cryptocurrency or stuff like that.
What?
No cryptocurrency or stuff like that.
No, I'm strongly opposing the cryptocurrency. Like 12 people from my department, there is no one who is invested in cryptocurrency. Ask them why. Because they cannot evaluate it. Me neither. So you don't invest in what you cannot evaluate, what does not have an intrinsic value and have only value of speculation value. So no, I don't. When I see a cryptocurrency in some of the project, I just click on exit. I'm staying away. I mean, it's even worse than peer-to-peer. It's bigger and worse. That's my personal opinion. Okay. I could be subjective. I could be retrograde. Like I could be just old-fashioned, old thought. But that's my point.
So you're very conservative. And did you ever invest in P2P platforms, or did you ever think about it even?
Actually, I have small investment, but they're out of curiosity. So
okay. Just for testing.
I spent probably €1,000 on it, but I mean, okay, it's not that money that I cannot lose. Mostly I already sold out them and returned it back to my account safely. I lost something nowhere in euro. I think it was a Polish
KPM, KPG, something like that.
KP, they changed
renamed.
the name, yeah.
Yeah. So it was €20. So it broke my
That doesn't
heart.
count. That doesn't count.
Okay, I never invested, of course, in. I was invested in State Guru, some projects. I invested in secondary market. I tested it. I have an account in Mintos also. So but it's of course out of curiosity to look for the instruments they offer. So it's more professional curiosity rather than I wanted to earn something.
Just to see how they do
Yeah, just
it.
to see. Yeah, and I never had any accounts in the scammer platforms.
Lucky you, yeah. Or maybe not so lucky, because then you could have followed the whole process of if there's any possibility how to get your money back.
Yeah,
but
for example, the Groupier Theater, I think.
Is it worth it? Is the entrance ticket worth it? Probably
I think for the only platform which somehow communicates to the investors somehow, I think is Groupier. With every 2 months there is a funny email which reasons why all the process took that long and where in the process we are actually. But it's bullshit, of course. It's basically Corona. It's all the fault of Corona and the pandemic and stuff. But besides that, I think only Wise Fund so magically communicates the interest payments from 1 or 2 projects.
Yes, so we're finally back to the P2P theme. I see that's our real topic. No other investments. I think there are different stages of failure. Some of the platforms disappear immediately, but maybe the others said, we don't like what happened there. They have to hide somewhere or they get arrested. So we pretend it's still fine. We sometimes send letters or keep the website alive, sometimes make some little interest or just to keep the investor happy, or at least he's not going to the police or something like that. Yeah, that's very interesting from platform to platform, I think. But some of the platforms were somehow connected. Can you tell something about that? Or
I have heard about it. Yes, I heard about that Wise Fund and Investor, probably Monethera and Quetzal. They have some connection, but honestly, I don't track it as soon as it's gone. Yes, because I'm not a prosecutor, not a state prosecutor, not a policeman, so not a judge. My agenda is mostly not to let it run, rather than prosecute, trying to punish them, because I cannot do much about it. Yes, I'm not a guy with some sheriff in town. Yes, so.
But how do you find out that the platform is scam or a failure before it's gone? You invest a lot of time to find out, or do people already come to you and say, hey, this is not really a good platform, let's have a look?
Actually, it looks like I spend much time, but honestly, when you are working in this industry, you see the scammers probably twice a week. So usually you have received some lucrative offer, business offer, and you know the patterns. You know how to say, it's just a pure experience. You see in momentally everything about the offer. So for me, It's not a rocket science. I mean, I'm not Dick Tracy, some detective, but it's just you see the way, you estimate a bit how much they spend on the ad, what is their operational costs. What are the potential earnings, and you can do it in your head, yes, and then you do it daily. So it's not something really sophisticated for people who earn money for doing this, like me. So in that case, it was obvious with the first platforms investor and Quetzal. Yes, you see the immature guy who is running something and some ludicrous interest rates, and that industry. What are average interest rates that are offered in banks? So it just doesn't match. Yes, it will not fly. And yes, of course, I do as a hound. I try to browse the people who is behind them, and usually you can find anything you want if you put some effort into it, especially when you know Latvian, like me. So in most cases, it was Latvian language that was my weapon to Google, yes, and to check ownership. Sometimes people who were behind, they were familiar me from somewhere, but you have a database in your head that those people are some crooks. So mostly.
Short question. You said average interest rate, and how can we from Germany or from outside get average interest rate in the Balticum? Have you any chance for something?
I would say it's not a Baltic interest rate, it's Eurozone interest rate. So basically for the dairy farm, you will have the same interest rate in dairy farm, you will have the same interest rate in Germany, Czech Republic, Latvia. Maybe it will differ by 0.5%, maybe 1% max. Yes, it's the business model is the same, yes. The deviation is the same. The risks are the same. The collateral is the same. So it's more global. Yes, you can Google interest rates. It's quite easy. Usually you use profit margins also. If you, of course, for Germany it will be a bit lower probably. For West or Eastern Europe, it will be higher. But still, if you see 19% somebody is asking for a loan that is longer than 3 months, you are suspicious because it's a heavy pressure on your cash flow. There should be reason for this loan. And if you remember, for example, Investor, they had some 18-19% for the companies that usually take 9 or maybe 12 max, but still, there is no logic in it. Yes, and speaking about the present platform that is still breathing, yes, you see the same stuff.
Okay, you mean 12% is valid?
Yeah, okay. Well, a bit about interest rates. Okay, you see yourself, yes, estate guru, crowd estate, they're struggling to find projects for 11%. Yes,
more like 9 or 10%. That's all.
Yeah, 9 and the quality is dropping a bit because
they have wonderful German castles.
Yeah, I like them, but I don't know how much you should pay utility bills for it. They're looking nice as long as state pays the bill, but if state does not pay the bill, it's
regarding interest rate and so on, you have to, or as a question formulated, you have to differ, I think, between different kind of loans, right? So between consumer loans, between real estate loans, which various types, and also some extraordinary stuff, for example.
Oh yeah, let's talk about PDL. Yes, about payday loans, about consumer credits. Yeah, why they can afford for themselves to borrow for that quite big interest rate. Yes, and as you see, most of the successful ones, they try to switch on bonds like VSMS and probably some Mintos affiliated also Mogo. They have bonds also. So basically, there you can have infinite leverage. Equity, debt to equity, debt to assets. Debt to equity, you can have as much as 12%. Yes, no bank will ever give it to you. But you can afford it because your profitability index will still be higher. You will earn 1.23 while you are borrowing 1.17. So you can multiply it as much as you have a risk tolerance. Yes, and we know that A40 did it too much, and that ended not so well. But the business model is justified. It's a high risk model. It's justified. It's probably very sensitive to economical cycles. But for now, the band plays on. Mintos is working and stable. Regarding the SME lending, unlike some imposters who are stating that they have invented automatic small medium enterprise loans, for now it's impossible. You cannot do it. I don't think that the more peer-to-peer model for SME is sustainable now. It will be sustainable in near future, but now it's still too early. So that's my opinion regarding. I have seen a lot of SME portfolios. Most of them requires handmade management, or they go default like 90.
So real estate above 10% is getting critical. Payday loans 15%.
I think yes, 15 is max. Yes, for short period like last year it was 20 or 18 on Mintos. That's possible also, but not for a long term.
I think if you want to borrow, for example, I made a little research, I think 2 weeks ago or so, for a Latvian bank, the Citadel Bank. And I think if you dare want to have a consumer loan for the max loan amount of 15K, and want to borrow for a short period of time, so only 12 months, for example, then there is the annual interest rate is near 15%, so 14.8, for example.
Yeah, but you should distinguish bank consumer loan and consumer loan of non-banking institution.
Yeah, of course.
Because you should know that 30% of the loans on the non-banking institution, they go default. So basically, this is somewhat a collective lending. Yes, when the good guys who are in desperate situation will pay for the crooks. So that's how it works now. So, and the interest rate usually is around 300 per annum. Sometimes there is a country cap, and because it's called usury back in the days, but now seems we have a free market, but there is a cap for the interest rate, and it could be surpassed by the commission or underwriting price. So.
And it's also the question what interest rates is offered to the investor in Germany, because Mintos and the loan originator also, of course, wants to have a piece of the cake.
Yeah, most of the cake, yes, definitely.
Exactly.
So I expect they receive around 25%, 1.25 euros for every €1 lended. So you can calculate yourself how much they give to you and how much is left for them for administration costs, for all other costs.
So interest rate, when it's too high, it's a red flag. And of course, shady people, but we don't know them. We can try to Google them, but some of them make a LinkedIn profile, but who knows if that's a reality.
Yeah, about people, yes. Usually, financial world is quite conservative. So if you see somebody in 26 years trying to be a CEO, probably just stay away from that, because it's not, you need years, you need to be mature to run a portfolio, for sure. You cannot be a kid from university and be like Elon Musk. Yes, it's not high tech, not some scientific incentive industry. So, for Quetzal, it was obvious. I cannot understand how people were lured into it. We know about Holy Jorgen, yes, but still, come on. You see just kids, toddlers.
Yeah, investors want to believe. You see it every day, even today. If it's sounding nice for them, they hang on to the hope that it's real.
Yeah.
You can't change that, I guess. Even people who lost money in the first platform, in the second platform, in the third platform, they are still invested with all the problem platforms which are around now.
Yeah. They're gambling, man. They're not investors.
Yeah, maybe it's gambling, or maybe it's just hanging on to some dreams. Who knows?
Okay.
And they don't want to admit they made a mistake again.
But it's hard to say I have made a mistake. It's hard to say I have taken the wrong horse.
Yeah, that's investment psychology. Even with the stock market, you don't want to admit that the stock is going down and you don't sell it. You just keep it. And
it's very difficult for non-professional to strike a loss. Yes, to recognize a loss and go on. That's the problem for them, and that's usually used by people who's running Ponzi's, who's running some dubious investment funds. Yes. So, and you have seen it before with investor with Group U. There were people who were in denial for months. They were still reading this bullshit they're posting there, and still believe that they were getting repaid. So come on.
Yeah, every time they make a new newsletter, they say, you see, they're still speaking to us. Everything will be fine. That's really strange, but...
The same is for fast invest. If someone receives withdrawal, which is processed after 6 months or so, they are also around there.
Yeah, they should reinvest it immediately, probably. So maybe we should move on and go to the next topic. Some current news, I don't know, maybe some other questions.
Yeah, the current news would be the platform which begins with C, which is struggling for some months now. I think you have a very big fan base among the investors there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm blamed.
Yeah, sometimes it sounds like we want to shoot the messenger.
Yeah, sure.
They still have hope and don't want to admit that they made a mistake.
What to tell here? Yes, the same story. While I distinguish the case, circus store case and investor case. Yes, in the investor case, we have die-hard criminals who were made a deliberate fraud. But in this case of circus store, it's more about probably being an imposter. Yes, I still think that while those two piglets are dirty, but they're not criminals. Yes, and they don't look like criminals. But honestly, yes, we heard a lot. We heard about kickbacks from the project. That's the nasty rumors I've been hearing for 2 years. We heard that some projects are actually dead end. Some are overinflated, and so on. Yes, but basically, of course, look on the stats. Yes, this is the end for them, for sure. As a platform, maybe as a portfolio, they will not disappear. Probably, yes, but the model is not sustainable anymore. Okay, they have 500,000 euro according to their statistics. Yes, that's not nearly enough to sustain to pay operational costs, to pay office, just to do anything. Yes, and the last not the least, there is no money for debt collection because it's a costly business. You need good lawyers, you need time, you need spend money and spend time, devote time on it. So and they don't have the resources.
Yeah, they don't
have expertise in it. They have zero. They don't have even a designated lawyer for that. They have a lady accountant who probably doesn't do anything about it except probably sending some letters. But
so there is no hope, you say, for the investors?
No, I didn't say that.
They won't be happy. Phil, what do you say about it?
What should I say? So, as I'm invested, but so I think I'm on the withdrawing course for several months because I'm not satisfied. So there are true things I think Peerduck mentioned. Serious, let's say, mistakes. Not only mistakes, maybe it was they wanted it that way. That there were no processes, for example, for debt collection set up or so, which makes everything a little bit more harder to recover in the end. Yeah, so it's in the end somehow it's a mixture. There will be projects So on every platform, there will be projects, I think, which will default. For Crowdestor, there for sure a lot of projects will go into default and there won't be recovered much or maybe nothing. Yeah, I think it depends on 2-3 big projects. If it ends with a blue eye or with 2 blue eyes and a broken nose, so the bigger projects, which are also not that, that the result won't be that good than expected. For example, speaking of success fee and such things. Yeah, but I think it will depend on 2 or 3 projects how it will end. But I don't know, and I for sure I hope not as soon as I'm egoistic move have my money out. But
forget it.
Yeah, of course.
Forget it.
Okay, so you really don't have much hope either.
There is always a hope,
Yeah, fuck. So.
I mean, may I say, okay, sorry, guys, to interrupt you. I think that depends much of strategy that will be chosen by the investors. Yes, as for sure there is a dead end date for the Circus Tester. It's 1st of November, because then they will have to use a license. Afterwards, all their bank accounts will be closed very soon, yes, I mean, in a short time. So, as we all understand, they're incapable of getting a license. No way. Yes, you need to go through so many audits. You should go through some procedures, but that's impossible for them. Yes. So this story has a closed ending date. Yes, it's not. It's not infinite.
Don't they already need a license for their Flex product?
Flex product is illegal from the point of view because it's a clear deposit-taking business. You cannot run a portfolio management. It's an asset management, so it's forbidden.
So if someone has the idea to take a lawyer, it's already finished.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Well, I don't know how they managed to use their legal department to cover it up with some fancy papers, but all in all, at the end of the day, it's an illegal business activity. They are not allowed to do. They're not capable of. They don't have appropriate education, no appropriate license as individuals, nor license as an entity. So you cannot do it. It's a clear Ponzi. So basically, I don't think that they will be prosecuted for it. But as soon as the banks will see that they're running such a kind of activity, they will simply close their accounts.
So very bad news for the left investors there.
You think it's bad? Because I think that faster that will happen, more collateral will be not written off and money not embezzled. Look, they don't have money.
I don't think so. So I'm the opposite. Normally you would think like that, but look at the other platforms which went south. There it was the same. Because it was pushed that hard, I think more money, lost than it would with a little bit more patience and not patience, but a little bit clearer processes and steps and actions and so on. Maybe a little bit coordination, but I think pushing is not the right way. Pushing for sure would be lead that everyone will lose more money than going a structured way.
That's a very interesting theory.
Yeah, but it's only work when the projects are really you can cover the project. If the projects are destroyed or if the project never work, they will burn money all the time.
And I think it's only good for the people who know about it and try to sell their claims on the secondary market. Everyone else will have the same losses. I heard about people who complained months later about that the website of Investio is not available anymore.
Of course, such people are everywhere. Such people are. They ask 3 days after Wirecard went south, what happened to Wirecard, because they don't read the news or whatever.
There was a guy who was a soldier in Afghanistan who got back from his trip, and he was a groupier investor. So it was 8 months after they failed. So probably he's a champion. But speaking about the Philip position, yes, it's justified. Yes, okay, we can break up everything. Lawsuit could freeze everything, and you will not see any money. That's true. It should be taken in consideration. But on the other hand, nobody is saying that you need to go to the court. Probably the best case. I mean, I'm not an investor. I cannot solicit. But in that case, I would still negotiate with the crew. Probably they should shift all the collaterals to the professionals and make them sell it and repay all that they have. All money that will be earned from the auction to the investors. Yes, it will be a loss, definitely losses. Some projects will fail 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but look on them. They have zero experience in debt collection. They are distracted. They were bad in scoring. They were bad in lending. They were bad in contract structuring. They were bad in timely collection. So why do you expect them to be good in the most difficult part of lending business, collection money from the people who don't want to pay? They will never hire a good professional. No, there is no idiots who will go to work for them and dirt their reputation for now. So, on my point of view, last not least, they're still spending operational money on programmers, on QIC managers, probably on some marketing and stuff. It's still hundreds of thousands euro per month, and this money is yours money. They don't earn anything. They use the money probably from ticket, probably already from deposit money, to sustain their to keep afloat, and there is no need for it because nothing will change. You should understand that there will be no influx of new investors in September.
Okay, so we all agree this platform will probably go soon.
Next money.
So we found out Fast Invest is not a good idea. Crowdestor is not a good idea. Are there any more platforms we should be warned about at the moment? Apart from that, maybe P2P is maybe not the best idea for investing if you don't have ETFs and gold and other things so far. Are there any platforms you would consider as the next failure?
Maybe I can jump in to ask that question directly, to name a platform to Peerduck, because I think yesterday there was a discussion and someone throw in the name Get Income or Income Marketplace, and I think your third word was that it looks fishy. Maybe that would be, in your opinion, a platform which looks not that okay. Or maybe can you explain that? Why you thought that?
It's quite a complicated question because I want to start a witch hunt. Yes, they are new. They probably started some months ago. I never heard about them. I just encountered them and probably on some website who has ratings. So I clicked. But it appears that this is AACA guys who didn't do well in Poland, probably aware of. So they decided to start their own business from the blank page. I cannot comment how much losses were generated by them to the previous investors, but we know the history that they didn't do well last time. So maybe they have a different view. Yes, I should unban the person who is responsible for the communication with investors, and he will answer my allegations, or let's say I will comment my topic.
But
now it's too preliminary to speak about it.
That's a good point. You shouldn't invest in brand new platforms. What would you say? How old should the platform be? At least 4 or 5 years, or even older?
Yeah, but if you don't invest in new platforms, how they will live for years?
Yes, the other people can invest. You just wait.
So wait for dumb money to be invested and then check.
Exactly.
But it makes it different if you say how young is the platform. You can see Monsera with Placid Group credits behind it. I think it's a different one, isn't it?
It's not only Placid Group. I think it's all the platforms which came out,
Ländermarket,
which are backed by a loan originator, like Ländermarket for credit thing. And what is it?
Take a look if the platform claims to be independent or.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
there's a little difference. And
part.
Some new platforms say, oh, we are from loan originator. I don't know the name, but they make a company in Ireland or somewhere totally different. And then they make some stupid explanation why it's located on the other end of Europe. I think there are fishy points you have to look at.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. My personal opinion is that new platforms, like most of them, will never gonna fly. That's for sure. Probably this ACA guys, good luck to them. But you have a history, yes. And okay, you can get some new ignorant investors or not informed investors, but for most people it will be no go, yes. And speaking about how old it should be, it's not about an age, yes. It's about what is the purpose of this platform, what is the plan. If they said, okay, we're on another platform, we will be a new Mintos. And said, okay, there is a Mintos, why do the hell we need something like this? Then, okay, probably they're doomed. But in case it's a niche platform that has some professionals who are good in the particular sphere, it could live, yes, it could be young, but because again, the young platform probably still have some money left for the constant loss from the operations. The platform that is 2 years old, it's already have burned the money that was designated for the loss period. Yes, they planned to be profit in 2 years, and it never happened. So now they're burning your deposit money for the OPEX and it's not saying nothing about it. So basically, from that point of view, a young platform is more prudent for you rather than some platform that is around 4 years and it still have only 2 million euro per month investments. Because you can easily calculate how much the platform needs to feel healthy. That's around 4 million minimum. If the platform is not has not 4 million new investments analyzed per month, it's working with a loss. So you should ask where the money comes from. And in the case of company that is behind the platform, loan company, they can keep it alive. If it's an independent, then okay, where are you getting money from? From the mint farm or from our boiler house? Huh?
We're back to Crowdesto. So the age doesn't matter. Like in real life, you have to take a look at the numbers.
And look on the personalities. Yes, you should, it should be maximum transparent. You should see people who benefits from it. Yes. So if you see kids, young people, you probably see or a strawman or some imposters. So in most cases, it's not about business. The platform is not business. It's a bad business. I tried to make a financial model for the platform. It's a non-profitable business. They should be registered as a charity because they don't earn anything from it. So it's the money is generated by the lender. Yes, by the loan originator in case of consumer lending and by the developer or company who is behind the real estate projects.
So if you don't see the people or you just see some marketing guy answering questions on Telegram, it's also maybe not the best idea to send money there.
Yeah, it definitely is not small business because you need money to run it. Yes, it's you need a budget not less than 500,000 for sure. It's minimum. If you have 500,000, probably you can sustain on low budget level for 2 years before it will start to fly, or you just write off the losses of the idiot who gave you money for this business and move on. Yes, but if you don't have it and you have no resources, so you are doomed. It's simply you cannot even process enough investors per month. It's limited to the people who are involved in QIC. How many one person can do per day? Maybe 5. So to reach a minimum investors that will make a difference, it's still months and months.
Okay, but maybe back to the question, can you name any platforms you would warn our listeners?
You mean to name platforms that will fall or that will succeed?
Exactly, yeah. Or
to fall. Actually, I think that this is the last one from that. Of course, it's Inventor. Yes, that's for sure.
Viventor. Okay.
Yeah, but it's dead too.
Yeah, it's dead. It's obvious. So it's just yesterday news. Yes, probably some small ones will not gonna fly, but do they need to be checked? I cannot even tell which one is definitely will go down. Probably Estate Guru should stay alive. I mean, Crowd Estate probably should stay alive. Book Estate probably should stay alive. But this is from the Baltic States. I'm not sure about these Lithuanian ones. Evo Estate, yes. Do they have their own projects still?
Evo Estate, no, they don't have their own projects.
They only working as aggregator, yes?
Exactly.
Yes, they founded also the real estate platform, so one of the founders. How is it called? Forget the name.
I'm not sure their business is sustainable, actually. I'm not sure that this type of business as aggregator could generate profit enough to spend money on it. So.
At least they have, I think, enough money to survive a longer period of time, I would say.
Yeah, but I should maybe take a look. Let me make a fatality for this one, but I will focus on somebody else. But really, I don't see anything like that anymore. Probably there are some platforms we're not aware of. Yes.
Just today,
should stay alive.
Just today, an old known platform tries to re-enter, I think, the industry. And what you said, if there are kids or young people on the front as CEO, CFO, and so on, then you should maybe think twice. Bold Yield is back.
Okay. Welcome
with another
back.
CEO.
The last Edgar's and so on, I think they started the wrong time. But yeah, they did not lost money, and also they generated money. So there was some return. But now I think Edgar's is named as advisors, but the team consists of, at least it says in LinkedIn, some young
oh my god,
PG guys.
Yeah,
So red flag,
as
red
working
flag.
as a copy machine in KPMG, probably. Yeah, sure.
It looks strange also because I think they claimed to have a partnership with Rialto. I stumbled just today over it.
Maybe it's just his old photo. He's like already gray.
So at least the LinkedIn photo looks not much different. A little bit longer hair.
Okay, I'm just googling now him. Not again.
He was on a holiday camp with Chivas. What?
Oh my god!
But to be serious,
I just don't want to comment that, guys. I don't want to mock anybody, yes, just because let's give a boy a chance.
Yeah, we can cut this.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he looks young.
Yeah, but apart from that, you don't have any platform you can definitely say this will go in a few months or maybe.
It very depends on the fact that we were getting into a licensed atmosphere. So there could be a sudden death mode, probably.
Okay,
Unexpected
so the
death.
next big milestone is the regulation.
Yes, in November. But I don't expect that some will fall. Probably even Soccer Store will make till the November with all these stories that soon they will have an Oscar and they will have their new Blizzard. They have landed to all the stuff you, Philip, is reading every time, every Friday, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I to be honest, I don't read the newsletters.
Why? It's very tempting.
It's entertaining.
I'm reading. I open a bottle of beer every time they read because I need something to drink, and I'm laughing every time. But okay, I don't want to mock them. Yes, they're in bad situation anyway. I'm actually a bit sorry for Janusz. He probably not so bad person. He just non-fit. And it's called Breaking Bad, yes, when you just you're going wild.
Yeah, but you have to be very sick to do that. I hope he's okay. I mean, healthy.
I'm not sure he's okay.
Did you ever heard about the famous German health cannabis platform, Juicy Fields?
Yes, Joseph. At least I know some CEOs who they supply probably, but really, come on, guys, there are plenty of the same scams. I mean, hundreds of them. It's not even dozens, hundreds of them. Most of them are local one, not in English, but you can spot them every time you go on site. You will see the same story. So, for some reason, it's under the floodlights of community, but. Okay, it's a joke. People trying to earn money on fools. Nothing to add, yes. They use a hot topic of cannabis, probably luring potheads into the business. Nothing to add, yeah. It's not a business for sure. Do you have an opposite opinion? That's a legit one?
Me not. Maybe Phil?
Phil, are you invested in them?
Which platform you mean?
Juicy Fields.
No. The only connection to cannabis I have is a real estate investment trust in the States.
At least.
So you're a drug lord. Is it legal in Germany?
Only the
glass houses, or
the glass houses, correct? for the drugs.
Yeah, they all tell the same story. This is just a warm house. This is a tomatoes. Okay. But returning to the real estate, yes, returning to you started saying that you're investing in rate. Actually, there is a Baltic rate. You can Google it. You can invest there. And still, I think a good place to invest Riga is because it's lagging behind Vilnius and Tallinn in terms of price per square meter. It's still less, and as the city is bigger, so you need more. It's more capital consuming than Tallinn, which is much smaller, and Vilnius, which is also smaller. So Riga is a bit behind, but as a capital of Baltic States, it still has some room to grow in terms of prices, in terms of real estate. So if you love our region so much and you don't want to invest in juicy fields or in camels in Somalia
or estate guru or crowd estate.
Yeah, and crowd
so
estate. So
finally we have an investment hint from you. If you can name the REIT, we can put it in the description.
I will send it later, yes, but it's not about this rates particularly. I mean, there is institutional funds or institutional companies, regulated companies that will take your investments. Yes, there is no need to go for circus for any investor like companies. You probably can find a way how to allocate your capitals here. And it's relatively safe as it's Eurozone, and the price, as I said, is lower than nearby capitals and definitely lower than Germany.
Okay, interesting.
So, yeah, I think this is a good end. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
you. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very
Thomas.
much for inviting me.
Thank you for listening, everyone outside, and we are happy when you can recommend us and write Apple reviews and subscribe our podcast on Spotify. And the important thing is a disclaimer. We don't make any investment advice here and any recommendation for any products or platform. And this is only our view and opinion, and all are just ideas. Don't be a lame duck.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
Nice.
Thanks.
So
Thank you and goodbye.
I can say thank you to Peerduck, and I say see you, hopeful, later.
Have a nice day, everybody. Bye.
See you, bye.
See you.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Bye.